So Apple recently announced their Mac transition to Apple Silicon, which is their ARM-based SoC found in iPhones and iPads. The transition is set to span over a 2-year period, and if you have the developer transition kit, you can start building apps today. This isn't the first time Apple has made such a transition. Back in 2005, Steve Jobs announced the transition from PowerPC to Intel, so they have become quite efficient at it. Contrary to popular belief, Apple did not start using ARM in 2007 with the first iPhone. Apple actually started using ARM in 1993 with the Newton, and later with the release of the iPod product line starting in 2001, which is ARM-based. So as you can see, Apple is heavily invested in ARM. Apple has been working to unify their devices on a single CPU architecture, which will provide them with a number of advantages, one being reduced development costs. In 2018, Apple sold over 200 million iOS devices and only 18 million desktop and laptop devices. For Apple, it wouldn't make much sense to continue supporting a separate architecture for a product line that has such a small part of their sales. Not to mention the fact that Intel has been slow to release new processors and are now being overtaken by AMD. Another contributing factor is the power consumption and heat produced by Intel chips, which has been difficult to manage and made it even more compelling for Apple to transition from Intel. Yet one of the most prominent reasons is that Apple likes to control the whole stack, as we have learned from Apple's previous relationships with Nvidia, IBM, and Motorola. Apple does not use generic ARM design like Qualcomm Snapdragon processors, yet they have a license to use ARM instruction set with their own design. Apple has been slowly building their A-series chips over time, which have gotten considerably better with each generation. So much so that their processors are now ready to compete with desktop-class processors. The A12Z Bionic chip featured in the developer transition kit performs as good as a 10th gen Intel Core i7 processor. Apple has designed custom ARM-based chips such as the T1 and the T2 to improve security. This transition will help Apple to include their T1 and 2 chips directly on the SoC. Additionally, Apple has been adding many custom computing features to Apple Silicon that are not found in Intel processors, meaning that moving the Mac to A-series chips will provide many of the processing abilities such as photo processing, virtual reality, machine learning, video rendering, and many more.